If a man is living with his mom, which is a lot of men nowadays, you don't even have the right to look at a woman, let alone take her on a coffee date. And if you're a woman who's dating a man who's living with his mom, okay, some wisdom may want to think about upping your standards, okay?
The reason why we do not entertain broke men is because they shouldn't be focused on women if they're broke. That's number one. So you already know their priorities are backwards. If you're dealing with a man who's broke and he's chasing you and he's pursuing you and he's trying to bring down your standards in order to be easier to access you, he has bad priorities. When he should be focusing on getting his money, he's focusing on getting something else. And it's meaningless because you can't maintain or keep a woman if you have zero money. So therefore, their thinking is backwards, and a lot of their decision making is going to be backwards. You're not going to be able to trust them or depend on them ever, because they can't even get it together now and realize what's more important at this time. So therefore, you don't entertain them at all because there's nothing they can do for you. Zero. There's not one thing they can do for you but waste your time.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing why women should not be dating down, okay? And when I say dating down, I'm not talking about physically, but just in terms of your life. If you have all the C's, which is a car, a career, a condo, and childless, you should not be dating a man who has nothing on that list. Y'all are just in two different phases of life. It just comes with a lot of avoidable trials and tribulations. You're not going to benefit in the long run because unless you plan on going without, you're going to have to give some of what you have to bring him up to your experience of what you like to do. So let's get into some more videos of why you should not date down as women.
Ladies, never date down, okay? Do not date a man who you're more successful than him, you have more money than him, you're better off in life than him. Do not date him because you are going to be settling and he is going to get jealous of you and he's going to try to humble you by cheating on you, lying to you, disrespecting you. He's going to try to bring down your self-esteem. He's going to ruin your mental health. And when you walk away from that relationship, you're going to leave empty-handed. You're not going to have more money, a car, a house, nothing but heartache, mental illness, and you're going to need therapy. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
This guy that I dated was super nice. He did not make as much money as I did. That caused a lot of issues in like the day-to-day scenario where like I like to go out, I like to have fun with my friends and whatnot, but he couldn't do that financially. And like within the relationship itself, like going on dates and whatnot, we couldn't do that because he didn't like the fact that he couldn't pay for the dates, but he also didn't like the fact that I could and he didn't want me to pay for the dates. So like it was just a no-win situation. So we're just not going on dates.
When you date down, you fuck up. You mess up your happiness. You fuck up your blessings. You fumble your bag. When you are dating somebody you know don't meet your standards, you are fucking up your heart in the process. Every time you settle, don't you end up losing? Don't you end up shattering pieces of your heart? Don't you end up feeling less about yourself? Don't you end up fumbling the bag with a man that actually was ready every time you settle? And the fucked up part about it is getting your heart broke by anybody sucks. But don't it suck more when you get your heart broke by a motherfucker you knew from the beginning was not up to par? You letting Jerome that work at Alabama Fish and Chicken cheat on you? You better than subpar treatment. You're better than somebody that I just ain't ready yet. I just in between blessings. You're better than somebody that I just got a lot of childhood trauma I ain't dealt with. You're better than somebody, well, my last relationship hurt me so bad, so I don't even know if I can. You better than that. Every time you date down, you are fucking up.
I know you're tired of walking around places, but like when I get my car just now, like when I get it just now, you'll remember times like these. Humble beginnings. Okay, it says our Uber will be here in 10 minutes. You look so agitated for. You know most people can't even afford an Uber. Like be grateful I can afford an Uber. What am I doing? What do you mean? You don't remember that contract we signed when we first started dating? I'm the one that's gonna be driving your car and you're gonna be in the passenger side. You know, babe, I really appreciate you for letting me drive this car all the time. Like I know it's yours, but you still let me drive it and like make it seem like it's mine. And like I really love you for that. You're like the best girlfriend ever. You ready to go though?
I should have put up a trigger warning because I already know that some of y'all are triggered just from watching up to this point. But let me just say this. The first girl, the Asian girl, she was very smart when she realized, okay, you can't pay for us to go out. You don't want for me to pay for us to go out because you feel bad. But I enjoy going out. I'm not going to not go out because you can't afford to. So let's just not date each other. I don't think we're compatible. And that's very smart because that could easily, if she was a different woman and she didn't have her head on right, she could easily have that transition into, well, he doesn't want, us to go out because he feels bad when I pay. I don't want him to feel bad, so I won't pay, so we won't go. So I'll just sit at home with him. And then that turns into y'all never going out, you missing out. Little things like that translate into other, aspects of the relationship. And that's just a prime example of what Dusties try to do. They try to get you to settle and they try to make you feel bad for not settling. And they're really good at disguising it.
Can we please stop dating down and lowering our standards, because dating down will only let you down. Anytime that I've ever lowered my standards for a man, I was let down. Anytime. It's funny too because they actually told me that they don't think that they deserved me, and they're shocked that I was even interested in them or wanted to be with them. And that should have been the red flag. Like, if they see it that they're not good enough for you, they're not. And these people like the idea of somebody that has their stuff together. Like, they know that they're not in your league. You're in a whole different caliber. They know that, and they like the idea of that. But once they have to kind of level up, they can't. And so you're coming down to their level. Like, you have your life together, you have your life in order, and then you're going and you're dating this person who has trauma, is dealing with addiction issues, struggling with money, work-wise, and here you are, you worked on yourself, you built up your, work, business, and you dealt with your traumas, and, you'd have zero addiction issues, and now you're babysitting somebody that is dealing with all these issues, and you're building them up, and, you're bringing them to therapy, and now you're paying for things because they're struggling with money, and now you're up all night wondering where this person is because you're in bed because you have work the next day and they're out on the streets.
Hey. Thanks for picking me up. My mom didn't let me borrow the car. Yeah, so I was thinking that I wanted to take you out to this nice Italian restaurant. I've DoorDashed from there a couple times. Oh my gosh. Breadsticks, fire. What is this, like a 2016 Honda Civic? Alright, it's pretty cool. Yeah, my ex used to have a Benz. That shit's crazy. The fucking seats with the lights and all that. Yeah, I'm hoping to get one. Oh my gosh, your AC doesn't work that good, huh? Nah? Damn. Hey, do you mind if I could connect to Bluetooth? I don't really like the music that you're playing.
The Bluetooth device is connected.
Okay, so I've been seeing a lot of y'all in my comments about dating a man that doesn't have a car, doesn't have a job, does not have his own place, does not have his own money, does not have... Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this up, okay? As a woman, you got to understand what you are doing when you are entertaining a man that doesn't have. You do not need to let this man be your only option. You can entertain him and be his friend. We all need good friends, right? That don't mean start catching feelings for the nigga. You need to make sure that if you're entertaining him, that he is actively going towards the things that he needs to go towards. You do not need to help him. You do not need to take a loss for a man who is already losing in life. But that does not mean you cannot be his friend. Just because you don't have certain things in life, that don't mean you're not worthy of a good friend. It's what I'm saying. I never told y'all to fall in love with the man. Don't give the man a ride. Don't give the man money. You really ain't even got to give him none of your personal time. But you can still be nice to him, is what all my videos meant. Now, it was a guy I was talking to yesterday. He said he's chilling at his sister's house. It gets later and later, he's still at his sister's house. I said, do you live with your sister? He said, yeah, I do for now. I stopped responding. I gave him the time that I wanted to give him, and then I moved on. I texted him good, I texted him good morning this morning, whatever. It was a huge storm here in Kansas City. We were actually on tornado watch. So I'm like, checking on him, make sure he's cool, make sure he's still alive. But that's it. I'm not going to give you all my time and attention. Nigga, you already told me that you don't have somewhere to live. But that don't mean he's not worthy of a good morning text. It doesn't mean he's not worthy of it. Like, are you okay? It's good. The weather was crazy. That it don't mean he's not worthy of that. But y'all think if y'all entertain a man that don't have, all of a sudden you got to get emotionally involved and physically involved and financially involved. Who told y'all to do that? Don't. As a matter of fact, do what you want, but realize what it is that you're risking. And if the results does not turn out the way you think it's going to turn out, don't get on here in my comments talking jazzy about what I did and didn't tell y'all. No, y'all chose to listen to the part of the video that y'all chose to listen to. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to entertain a nigga that don't have the things that I want him to have. So you have to pick and choose the things that's okay for you as a woman as far as what this man do and don't have. And realize what's going to come with that. Okay?
We all look for different things and we all have different red flags because we live different lives. However, you need the necessities. You need the bare minimum resources to be a productive human. You need those things. And some men that know they lack those things, they know how to find women that will give them the resources or will accept them without. Like the homosexuals. Usually it comes in the form of like a woman that's overweight or a single mom of multiple kids that's probably like struggling. Typically those are just the ones that are kind of like obvious, but they will really gauge every man that you ever date. They know your actual like confidence level. They know your self-esteem. They know it better than you know it, believe it or not. And some of these homosexuals purposely, they're like dogs. They can smell it. They can smell when you have a low self-esteem. And they look for women like that. That's how we get the homosexuals. So if you fall in that category of being a victim of that, at least now you know. So you have to start from somewhere. Like the lady said, you have to have the necessities. She actually has her TikTok account. She talks about her dating experiences. And she talked to this guy and she told him, he told her that he planned on getting a car before the end of the month or the end of next month, however. And she said, okay, well, I'm really liking him. But I told him, if you don't have your car by that deadline, I'm cutting you off because I can't date somebody that doesn't have a car. A lot of men use that strategy. Oh, I'm going to get something down the line. They lie about it in hopes of getting you hooked and attached to them, emotionally caught up with them before they break the news to you. So she's like, I'm not even going to give you the opportunity for that. If you don't have your car by the date you said you have it, we just won't be seeing each other. And you have to be cutthroat like that. You have to, because that's how you can determine. I mean, a man that's honestly doing what he say he's going to do, it's not even a problem. This shouldn't even be a conversation. So just something to think about.
Attractive women cannot afford to date down. If you're dating somebody who is beneath you, who, you're clearly out of his league, and he's an insecure guy, he will always take it out on you. And this also goes for a man who clearly can't afford you. You're also out of his league. You have to be really careful because these emasculated, insecure men, they're going to end up enraged because they're so emasculated, they're so insecure, and the only way they can make their sad little selves feel better is by exerting some form of control over you, potentially even abuse, to put you in your place. Because insecure men have this need to enforce this like sick power dynamic where you're beneath him. And the clearer it is that you are not beneath them, that he is beneath you, the more triggered he will be. And honestly, the more that you're going to become his emotional and sometimes his physical punching bag. So if you're in a relationship where you resonate with anything that I just said, please just get out. Get out of there. You're much better off single than with a guy whose attitude is to take you down a peg. After you've been out of that dangerous situation, I want you to really do the deep work. Commit to healing your self-confidence. Because the universe gave you a gift. You can only date confident, successful guys. God is not going to let you date down. And look at that as a gift, because it is.
Ladies, y'all have to be extremely careful with who you lay down with, because a lot of these men were raised by single women. And guess what? If they watch the woman struggle and do it all on their own, guess what they're going to want you to do? They're going to want you to do it all alone. Y'all have to pay attention to who was raised by a man and who was raised by a woman, because that'll take you a long way. That'll let you know, damn, do I really want to pursue this man? Does he really know how to be a man? He's never had a man in his life for him to even be able to see what a man is able to do. So y'all have to be very careful with who y'all lay down with.
I've been seeing a lot of people talk about how men are mean when they don't have no money. And if you date a broke man, it's going to be hell. And I agree, especially when you like a hard-working dude. You like, damn, like I'm just trying to figure it out. Well, I do agree. I got a question for the man. If you don't have no money, why is the first thing you think, let me go get in a relationship? Why would you do that? You have poor decision making. Maybe if this was like in the 1990s, you would have been straight. But dating a girl in 2024 with no money sounds like an extreme sport. You out here grinding, trying to figure it out, while your girlfriend on the internet where it's a who got more money than who competition. Like, bruh, you just playing life on Hall of Fame for no reason. You the type of dude that when they was giving out stimulus, you was just like, nah, I don't want one. I gotta get mine out the mud. Nah, I'm just playing. But to be honest, if you're not where you want to be financially and you get involved with a girl, just be honest. Tell her, be like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not where I want to be, but this is my plan. I'm a hardworking dude, so you can stick with me or not. If it matters to her that much, then you dodge the bullet anyways, gang.
Okay, so y'all know I don't show men often on the channel, but I kind of liked what he said in the beginning, so I said, okay, I'm going to include it. And then he began to play in our faces toward the end, and I'm just wondering if anybody else noticed it. So he started off saying, if you are a broke man, why is the first thing you do is get in a relationship? That's poor decision making. That sounds like an extreme sport. He goes into all these reasons of how dumb it is, and he starts laughing. Then he says, just be honest and tell her, which they should. Just tell her. But once they tell you that they don't have money or they're not where they need to be, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Because if you don't, they're going to play in your face afterwards, just like he proceeded to do in this TikTok. He also says, online on the internet, it's an online who can make the most money. There's money going everywhere. So if you choose to be with a poor man, he knows your self-esteem is low. He's going to continue to play in your face, right? Then he says, if a woman just wants you for your money and that's all that she can think about, then you dodged the bullet anyway. You shouldn't be with her. How is he dodging a bullet when you just said he made a bad decision getting into a relationship? So that would mean she's dodging a bullet. It has nothing to do with her being a gold digger. It has nothing to do with her being in the wrong. It has nothing to do with that. But you see how he switched it? He tried to get our guard down just to play in our face, and that's what they do in relationships. Let me know if y'all understood that. Let me know if y'all noticed it as well.
Rents are high, food is high, but you still have to go out and still try to provide for yourself.
So this man is sharing how his adult son came back to live with him. And the problem was not that his adult son came back to live with him, because rent is high, food is high. I mean, yeah, you still got to try to provide for yourself. But if you have parents that will allow you to help you get your life together while you're doing it, that is awesome. The problem comes to play when these men have no desire to provide for themselves, not alone think about dating, because this is an adult male. He's probably out there dating. And what happens is that you see these men out here who have no desire to provide for themselves and then want to go in the dating scene. And then it causes havoc in the dating scene because it causes confusion on, is this man even ready to date? Well, probably not, because he's still living with his father. But it's not to throw any shade on this. But I hear a lot of parents say like, oh, you know what? If my kids ever need, they can live with me for as long as they want. Well, when you do that, you're not raising adults that are capable of living in society. They can't even pay for their food.
I was gonna have to start rolling this bitch down.
I don't know who needs to say this, but y'all know I'm gonna say it.
If y'all are dating somebody and you have a car and they don't, that's fine. But now if they're talking about they want to take you out but you're the one driving, that's not fine. You need to tell them they need to order you an Uber, whether it's to your house, whether it's a two-stop to pick you up, pick them up, whether it's a straight shot there, wherever your date is, but you're not driving. Like, I'm sorry, if I'm picking you up doing all of this, I'm taking you out. If that's the case, you're not taking me out on a date. Like, not having a car is fine, but don't think that me picking up all of that is us on a date. No, send out an Uber, something. Like, say someone wanted to take me out, right? I picked them up, all of that. I see them walk into my car and they just hand me flowers. That just don't sit right to me because I'm literally behind this driver's. Like, that just don't sit right with me.
Every single man that she interviewed said they want a woman that's out of their league, but the truth is they can't handle it.
Baby, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. As someone that recently broke up with someone that considered me out of their league, whatever you do as a woman, if a man has ever uttered those words to you, or if in your head you're like, I'm like way too pretty, or I have too much going on for this guy, I'm gonna need you to pack it up and run, because nothing good comes out of this dynamic. I was in this relationship for way longer than it should have went, but I learned a few things. I went into this relationship thinking, okay, he's never treated me, or he's never had a woman like me. He's gonna treat me like the Queen of England. Far from the truth, okay? First month, it was cute, okay? The mask is still on. Second, third month roll around, when the mask eventually like falls off, they start thinking they're the prize. You know, now they're wanting you to chase. Now they want compliments. Now they're treating you like you're the ugly one. Don't know why this happens. Someone should probably do a study on it. But I say all that to say, do not date men that you would consider below your league, because you're doing yourself a huge disservice and you're doing him the biggest service, because people will see that you're with him and his value automatically goes up. Yours, on the other hand, they're questioning you. They're thinking, is she okay? Don't be that girl. Don't be me.
You know what? I was gonna try to explain the different ways that you could be dating down, but there's so many, and something just popped into my mind because you can see it really easily with celebrities. I'm gonna do a part 2 to this video, and I'm gonna include some celebrities like Kiki Palmer and her boyfriend. Okay, you can get advice from people, but if you've ever dated down, you understand what people are referring to. Even if you want to try to date down, it's not going to last long, even with you giving your all and your all your might, because it gets destructive. A lot of the guys, they're either going to get abusive or jealous or controlling, or probably all three. And that's kind of exactly is what Kiki Palmer is going through. I'm going to do a part 2. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your opinion in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one.